Quartzsite, Arizona.
Happening place right now. Honestly, this weather is a little too happening for my liking, but it's happening. So, always not happy because obviously, there's about my way of some writings about too many people in such a small place. I'm an introvert. I'm a go out in the wilderness in the desert or the forest and find some peace and quiet, enjoy nature, and take photos kind of a person. So, too many people make it hard to take photos. That's just me. For a lot of people who are more social, Quartzsite's an absolute blast to a place to go hang out. We're going to drive you around Quartzsite today, and we'll talk about what's going on in Chicago, what we're seeing, show you the sights, and so we'll get this camera turned around here in just a minute, and we'll show you what's to be seen here. It's a small town normally, but it is not a small town during winter. Sorry, let me spin you around here. There we go. All right, we're on the north end of town. There's the Quartzsite sign right there. It tells you we're just coming to town. We're going to do our best with the wind noise and stuff here because we are driving. So, somebody's saying the volume is not very good. Hold on, I'm trying to reposition here, see if anything's better. I was saying people are saying they're not getting very good audio. Hold on, let me pull this thing.
Let's try it a different way, and we'll just shut off with the mics we were using. We'll try doing a different system. Let me know if that's any better, guys. We're waiting for braking traffic apparently to pull out here, so
On the go?
yeah. And hopefully that fixes the audio problem. There we go. That's better. Okay. I'm just using the phone today, so I don't really have a way to test the audio, unfortunately, on my end. And when I do the live streams from in the trailer or in the van, and I'm able to using an app I use, I can actually test all that ahead of time and make sure everything's good. We're just coming into Quartzsite here. This is, again, not a very big town. About 9 months, 10 months out of the year, but it definitely gets big in winter. So we're coming in from the north end. Very first time I came to Quartzsite, I came down from Parker. So this is the way I came in on Highway 95. There's a US 95 over across the river in California too, but this is Highway 95 through Arizona, runs from Parker on down towards Yuma to the south. So we'll show you around here, see what's to be seen. And hopefully there's not too much rattling from the van. We were trying with other mics in the hope of solving that problem, making sure there wasn't any issues with background noise, but we'll try anyway. Lots of RV parks here. I see one source online says there's more than 70 in the Quartzsite area. Oops, the GPS is dinging at us. I'll show you the GPS, you get a little idea of where we're at and what's going on around here. So, but this is coming into one of the main intersections of Quartzsite here. This is Main Street we're going to be coming up on momentarily, and then there's the bridge over Interstate 10, and then there's Qin, I guess they pronounce it. One of several auto repair shops here, Best Auto. They are busy during the winter, as you could imagine. I've had some work done there. Matter of fact, they've worked on this van once before, several years ago. This RV pit stop here we're going by. This is a pretty popular place for water and propane and the like. I use other places these days, but a lot of times, it's within a week probably for sure. Once it gets really busy here, there'll literally be a line of RVs backed up into the street every time you go by there. And this one cracks me up. No Name Street. Somebody had a sense of humor. More RV parks all over. So lots of Quartzsite is very much caters to the RV crowd, if you will, to RVers and van life and all related sorts of nomads. I don't know if you guys can see these kites flying high over here. Apparently there's a place over there that's selling kites, and so they often have these kites tied off to like a minivan or something, and it's they got their kites up high in the sky. You can see them for quite a distance. Lots of OHVs all over Quartzsite as well. And this is Main Street in Quartzsite. Yeah, and RV salespeople are all here. They got lots of RVs coming here. We were talking, we were up over by the big tent, which is kind of over that way, over the highway, about a half a mile from here or so. And we were there the other day, and they're starting to get all their RVs out. And Melanie's not used to driving the van, so she's kind of hot rod, and she thinks she's in her Prius still. Not used to the big V8 in here and the low gearing, so in the cargo van. But hey, we're on Main Street now. This is quiet times. A lot of people use that for mail services and stuff. I actually have a mailbox elsewhere, but a lot of people do use that. Roadrunner Market. This is one of the two small grocery stores here in town. There is some distinctions between them in terms of what they carry and everything, but honestly, I can't tell you what it is. I don't remember. So I've been to each of them a couple times, but it's like I do all my big shopping at a bigger store because, especially with food prices as they are these days. So, all right. And Judy's saying hello, thanks for the drive/tour. Glad you're enjoying it, Judy. Here's a crosswalk red light. Yeah, this is one I always forget about. We do have a there's Coyote Fresh Foods right there. That's the other little grocery store. So they got stuff there. You can get food in town. There's also Family Dollar here, which is always crowded, as you can see from the parking lot. But they do have, again, not quite the same quality of food you might find at a regular grocery store, but they have their usual smattering of stuff. There's a Dollar General down the other end of town. We'll show you eventually when we get down there. But the Family Dollar is a place you can get stuff in a pinch too. And again, I have done that for sure. I've used all three of these stores to get groceries when, I need to get something and I don't want to go to Parker or over to Blythe or something. I can head down Plymouth. I'll go ahead and turn here. So we're going to turn down Plymouth Avenue here by Discount Solar. It's in between Discount Solar and the Family Dollar, so that's easy way to find Plymouth Ave.
Not sure what this boy's doing. It's okay.
Melanie's the biggest softie you're ever going to meet. She's going to wait for everybody from California to go.
No, he's a little boy, so he needs all the help he can get. Get home safely.
So it's Arthur, Leslie, greetings. Where are we headed? We are just cruising Quartzsite today, Arthur. Doing a live drive around Quartzsite and showing off all the sites here. There's plenty of dedicated tour videos around Quartzsite. People show off certain features. So we just thought we'd do our live drive thing and take you around. Trying to keep the camera as steady as possible. It's a little bit rough riding in the van. We normally do live drives in the Prius because the air conditioning is quieter and the whole car is quieter and rides smoother, but we don't have the Prius down here with us, so we're stuck with a van and it rides like a tank. So we're cruising around Quartzsite today, showing some of the sights and stuff. Life after kids, they're on our way. Be there in 1 to 2 days. We're definitely seeing a increase in the rigs and stuff we see camped around here and the traffic and stuff since after about the 1st, I guess. We don't come into town every day, so it's not like we see it every day, but definitely since it's got into the new year, things have picked up a little bit. We're going down here on we're going to show you where the RTR is going to be. A lot of people are coming here for the RTR. The official source of information for the RTR, there's the Rubber Tramp Rendezvous, big nomad type get together held here in Quartzsite each year. Is Homes on Wheels Alliance. They're running these days. This is the Quartzsite Library on the right here. I want to point this out. This is a good frame of reference, a good landmark. Is the La Paz County Justice Court on the other side of this road here, which is East Quail Trail. And then kitty corner over here on this side on East Quail Trail is the Quartzsite Town Park. And it's not too busy today, but that's going to change right quickly. This is also pretty because of the fighter jets they have out here. There's two of them sitting out here. Anytime I show these, I get asked what they are, and I really don't know. I just know they're U.S. Air Force fighter jets, but I'm not up on the models and such things. But they're sitting there, and right behind it, and the road and entrance is down here on the right we're going to go to, but out here is I almost wonder if they're starting to get ready for it already. I don't know. But this is the Quartzsite Town Park. In the background, behind these guys putting down chalk stripes in the parking lot, is the baseball diamond. And that's where the RTR is held. It was there last year, going to be there again this year. And that's where all the activity happens at the baseball diamond. And all this gravel parking lot is where people are parking. And they're parking a lot of other places too. But they have parking there. So that's where it's going to be this year. The regular main RTR is, I believe, is the 13th through the 20th. And I believe the women's RTR is a few days before that. So it looks like they're down there getting ready already. It's what's it, the 4th? 5th? Something like that? 4th? 5th? Melanie says it's the 5th.
I think it's the 5th.
I should know because I have a birthday coming up. But I try to forget my birthdays every year. And inevitably my parents call first thing in the morning and sing happy birthday to me. And then at least 2 of my kids, if not 3, sometimes 3, once in a while all 4 remember. And they get a hold of me. And then Melanie's determined she's not going to let me forget either this year. So, but anyways, yeah, we're into January. This is starting here pretty soon. So that's where that's at if you're coming down. But what I was starting to say earlier, before I show you landmarks, the official source for information on the RTR is Homes on Wheels Alliance. Their website is homesonwheelsalliance.org. And they also have some social media and stuff. Obviously, Bob's puts out some videos about it. Howard puts out some videos about it. So those are the places you want to get the official information. This is just for fun since we're in town here. Showing you around, we'll show you where this is. And you get to see it actually driving down to it. Thought that might be helpful. So if you're on Main Street in Quartzsite, just look for the Discount Solar and the Family Dollar and turn on Plymouth Ave. In between them, come down to the library and the fighter jets, turn left, and you're going to come right in here to the park. The town park, and like I said, a baseball diamond. There's no camping here, I do know that. The town is not allowing any camping in here, so you do have to camp elsewhere. Lots of BLM camping around, and of course the LTVAs. So lots of camping around, and of course you can camp up Parker if you want, or down towards Yuma, or over at Ehrenberg, or whatever you want to do. Lots of options around. You just can't camp on site anymore, but this is where it'll be anyway. This is all parking out here, and then again over here where all the light poles are, you can see that's where the actual event will be. Of course, we can't get in there because they're striped in the parking lot, so we can't get in there for real. So you can go down this way, Melanie. Take this lane down, and then we'll go past the backside of the ball field. So this is the Quartzsite Town Park and the ball field. So that's where all the excitement here will be happening coming up. So and this little road here, I'm just going to take us by the backside of the ball field so you can see. I'll give you a better view of what's going on there. So and I do recognize some of these rigs. So it doesn't appear they're setting up for the RTR already. I thought last year they set up just a day before, but I don't know, maybe they're starting early this year, because I recognize some of these rigs as being from Howell people. And there's the ball field anyway. You see the porta potties out there and everything. We will be here at least a couple days. I don't know that we're going to be here every day. I'll show you. There's more of the ball field. And this is basically, they put up a stage by home base, and then, or at least that's what they did last year. And then there's seating around the diamond, around the ball diamond. So let's see here. I got some comments. Dave, howdy. Liz saying, I'm sorry I missed it. What event will be held at the parking lot? This is RTR, the Rubber Tramp Rendezvous, the 2023. This was started by Bob Wells. You remember, Melanie? 13, 14 years ago, something like that?
Oh, goodness.
So I started off small. It grew and kept getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And eventually, it used to be everybody they hold on BLM land, and everybody camped there. And eventually, BLM was like, yeah, it's just too big. You got to do it somewhere else. So they lost a year or two due to the pandemic. And now last year, they held it here at the Quartzsite Town Park. And they're doing it here again. So there's some people out here putting up fencing and stuff. They had to do this last year, too. So all part of getting ready. So a lot of preparation they got going to get this thing off the ground, and that's where it'll be at if you're in the area, you want to come down. So Melanie and I will be here at least a couple days, I think. I'm sure I'll be down here for work at least a day or two. if you see us here, definitely, you know, say hello. We'd love to meet everyone that's going to be here. Let's look back here again. You can see the jets way out in the distance and everything. They have here in Quartzsite, this is a little radio controlled vehicle park right here, which is kind of fun, an RC track. I don't know how many people know about this. I found it last year and I thought it was kind of cool. I do not have an RC vehicle. I remember having one when I was a kid, but don't have one these days. But there you go. They got a whole little course out here you can race from, and a little thing there, a platform you can stand up on to see what you're doing. So that's kind of fun. And there's off the other way, there's another park over here, dog parks over here a little further up. Plymouth. There's also a radio controlled airplane club up there. Predates all the drone stuff back when it was actual RC airplanes. But so this is all kind of the big park complex here around Quartzsite. So we'll be here anyways, a day or two, 3, I'm not sure yet. We'll try and post that information ahead of time. So if you're looking to meet us, you can be looking. You'll know to be looking. You can be looking for us on those days. You don't have to be, of course, but and that's where it's going to be. And we'll go back by on the other side of it on Plymouth here. Let you see that. And yeah, I will be doing some drone work here, I believe, for CRVL again. So if I'm flying a drone, do me a favor and hang on till I'm done flying. Their flights are fairly short because of battery stuff and everything. But I got to focus on flying the drone so we don't have a mishap. But definitely when I'm not flying the drone, I'd love to say hello if you were going to be at RTR. We've been asked about doing a meetup or something. I don't know. We've talked about it and haven't got to any real... this, again, is the backside of the park here and the fighter jets. So we've talked about it. We haven't made any decisions yet, but we will be at the RTR a few days. That'll be a good chance for anybody that wants to say hello. And again, it's the library over on this corner over here. Trying to get it now. Liz, you are welcome. Yeah, that's one of the challenges with live streams. I know sometimes people hop on after it's already started. You might miss whatever was being said earlier, so no problem. But that's we're basically just showing everybody around Quartzsite. But since the RTR is coming up in, I guess it's next week now, a week from Friday, the main one starts. So since that's coming up, figure we'd show where that's at. So we're driving up Plymouth here, heading south. Plymouth Ave, heading south towards Main Street. When again, this is right between, Plymouth is right between Discount Solar and the Family Dollar if you're looking to find it off of Main Street, which is kind of one of two main drags going east and west through Quartzsite. So Quartzsite's got two, within Quartzsite you've got two interstate exits from I-10, exit 17 and exit 19, and this kind of Main Street goes between them, as does Q. And you can go further up either way and get off, but and you can go all the way up and go off like Dome Rock Road closer to Ehrenberg, but in the west. But wow, about these wash, crazy thing in the desert, man. You'll have these places where the road goes through a wash and like there's not like culverts under it or anything. You just like go to this really deep dip, and we just went through one. And when it floods, when the washes flood, when it rains, those things will end up full of water, and you have like water across the road. So a little bit unique if you're, you know, a Yankee like me. And you don't see that unless you're, you know, the river floods the embankments or something like that. All right, so we're back to Main Street in Quartzsite. And we're just cruising around and show you stuff. This is my recommended place for propane. I know a lot of other nomads like it too. The Patty's RV Park here. It is a small RV park, but then they have, hopefully you can see it back there, there's a two car lane thing for propane. You can bring your RVs in there to get filled up, or you know, like you bring your portable tanks like I have. We have a couple tanks on the trailer, but they're portables, so we just pull them out when we need them to get them refilled. And we have another 10-pound portable. So we got to show you the Camels in a little bit too. That's going to be fun, but that's up the other way, so traffic made it easier to turn back. So we're on Main Street heading west towards exit 17 and Ehrenberg, and eventually, I don't know, LA or whatever is over there. I've never been over that far. So I'm going by Roadrunner Market again here. A little grocery store. Laundromat here. Yeah, this is a big one. They have showers here. There used to be a restaurant here, and the restaurant's gone now, but they have a little espresso and coffee shop type place. We've not been in there yet. Laundromat gets really, really busy. I think there's a couple smaller ones in Quartzsite too, but that's like a big one, and it does have showers. That can be a very busy place. But I used to do my laundry over in Ehrenberg, but then that place closed down, the mini mall, and then it reopened, but I have not been back since they reopened, so I don't know what they got over there these days. So, and the traffic's flowing fairly good today as far as Quartzsite goes. It can, especially in the coming weeks. From about the middle of January until the end of January, it gets like pretty crowded. And over here on the right, I'll show you, it's on both sides really, but on the right, all kinds of vendors. Whoops, guess you can see it. And again, this is both streets, and this and Kewen have lots of vendors all over the place. Kind of like a flea market type vibe, I suppose. We just missed Silly Owls. I'll show that to you later on our next pass by, because that's a popular Quartzsite landmark. More RV parks here. Lots of, like I say, lots of RV parks around here. Another one on this side. Some of them are surprisingly affordable, except for January. So if you want an annual RV park site, you can get them pretty cheap here. Or if you rent long term, you can probably get them pretty cheap. If you're just coming in for a week or two in January, you're gonna pay as you would expect, because this place gets crowded. So Quartzsite evidently has this place, I'm not sure what the deal is with it, but it's been falling down for as long as I've been coming here, which is like 7 years now, 8 years now. I don't even know. I can't keep track anymore. I'd have to like do some research and figure it out. Quartzsite has a couple thousand people. I think it's less than 3,000 for a permanent population, 2,500, somewhere around there maybe. In the winter, depending on which numbers you believe, these things vary wildly. Oh, let me show you one more store here. There's a little hardware, paint, and lumber store, and a big market, hardware and liquor. So I don't know what all they got in there. I think I was there once, but I don't remember what all they got. And then a Dollar General here, and Stagecoach Motel and Restaurant. This place, I've eaten here several times back when it was a Stagecoach restaurant, but that closed down a year or two ago. Now it's a Stagecoach restaurant, Chinese food. So, new place. I've not been back because I'm trying to watch my diet and all, trying to behave. Somebody thinks I need to behave and eat at home, so she's laughing over here. She thinks I need to behave and eat at home. But she's trying to drive, so she doesn't talk too much when she's driving. She wants to get us safely all navigated. She doesn't want to get in a crash with me and 100 other people or something while we're watching, you know. So we're going down this side street. I think she's going to High Jolly Monument, which is sort of interesting. I'll tell you real quick about the Quartzsite population, then we're going to talk a little bit about the High Jolly Monument, because this is a fascinating part of Quartzsite history that a lot of people may not know about. So, Quartzsite, around 2,500 people year-round is what I've read. If you're from Quartzsite and it's different, let me know, but that's what I've heard. And some wintertime, especially in January, the numbers I read are nearly 1 million people, or more than 1 million people, or 2 million people. So, that's quite a spread. I've mostly heard like 1 million-ish. Some years are busier, some years are not quite so busy. Sort of like Sturgis motorcycle rally where we went back in August in South Dakota. You know, again, it goes up and down depending on the year. So I don't know what we're going to see here for this year, but it goes from 2,500 to, you know, round numbers of 1 million plus or minus, or maybe as much as 2 million on a really good year. So it gets packed, and everything's packed. So this is the High Jolly Monument we're coming up on here, and this is named after, well, the monument's for a guy who was I guess you could call it nicknamed High Jolly. That's not his real name. When we get up to the sign, I'll be able to get you more information, but we're not at the sign and I can't tell you all this off the top of my head. So there we go, last camp of High Jolly. Okay, now we can see it. This pyramid of native stones marks the resting place of High Jolly, a Greek born in Syria, also known as Philip Tedro and Haji Ali. I know I'm not getting the pronunciation exactly right on that, but I'm trying. Haji Ali. And that got, you know, Americanized to High Jolly. Anyways, High Jolly was hired in 1857 as a camel herder for in the United States Army's short-lived historic Camel Corps by Lieutenant Edward E. Beale in his expedition to chart a wagon road across New Mexico and Arizona, ending at the Colorado River. In 1861, the Civil War commenced, ending the day of the Camel Corps. High Jolly returned to Quartzsite, trying his hand at mining, packing, scouting, delivering the jackass mail, and selling water to travelers. And the Quartzsite Cemetery is named in High Jolly's honor. So this is the little monument, anyway, that pyramid-shaped monument. And this is a actual cemetery for Quartzsite. And yeah, so there you go. Back in the 1800s, there was the United States Army had a brief, short-lived Camel Corps, and they were experimenting with using camels in the desert for potential warfare scenarios. And this guy was brought in. He was from Syria, so apparently had some experience with, is a Greek born in Syria, so he apparently has some experience with camels from his time in Syria, and came over here to kind of help get that program going. But then there's more of the cemetery back over there too. But so they brought him in for that, and then the Civil War commenced, and that program kind of got shut down. But Quartzsite is still famous for camels. It's like their icon, their mascot or something. So you find all kinds of camel stuff around here, and that's why. So so fun little story, and that's High Jolly. So let's see, anybody's so we're gonna go back up to Main Street here. I guess if you want to take a right, Melanie, and we'll go to the end and then go over the highway and back down Dome Rock Mountain Road. Not actually by the campgrounds. The cell signal gets iffy out there. So we kind of got to stick to town for the most part, because the cell signal here in the desert does drop off when you get out away from town. So it's pretty. The coverage is good in town. The data speeds are not. That's the challenge in any place like this that's crazy crowded, is that they just don't have the bandwidth to support all of the people trying to use the internet, all the people trying to watch YouTube and live stream and all the likes. So it's usual general rule is better first thing in the morning, and then it gets progressively worse over the day. By late afternoon, evening, you can hardly use the internet, and then by like the middle of the night, it gets good again. Melanie tells me she was up the other night at, I would say, 3 or 4 in the morning. She couldn't sleep, so she got online, and it was really good then. So I'm not up even that late usually. So we got a pilot here, crowded parking lot, but we got a pilot here with a Subway and stuff. Lots of fast food over here, McDonald's and stuff. Vendors again, and on the right here with lots of quartz stuff and mineral stuff and that sort of thing. Rock hounding around here. That's a real big deal around Quartzsite. And again, this is Main Street. We're kind of coming up to the end of it on the west end. Family restaurant there. I never actually been there. We're getting a little bit of a dark exposure here today, so I apologize for that. I cannot adjust that really in the YouTube app. I could in the regular camera. But anyways, so Burger King here, if you're into, you know, that sort of fast food. There's a Terrible's over here. I don't remember seeing this before. Science is now open, so there's a gas station and convenience store. I don't believe this was here before. We could use another gas station here. It gets hectic in the winter for a month. When there's lines at all the gas stations. So, all right, so this is the, again, more vendors to the right here. This is kind of a big intersection, 4-way stop. Carl's Jr. over here if you like that. And if you're driving an electric car, there's a massive Tesla charging network, whatever you call them, setup out here behind Carl's Jr. They just keep on adding to it. So a supercharging place for Teslas. But if you got a Tesla, you probably already know that because your app will tell you that when you're planning stuff. But yeah,
They gotta stop.
otherwise, there's Carl's Jr. So we're gonna head over the highway here. This is Interstate 10, and it runs between Phoenix and Los Angeles. And so yeah, we're going over. We'll make a left up on the other side here. This just goes over and it's going to connect us with Kewen Street and Dome Rock Road on the other side. We're not going out to Dome Rock because again, the cell signal is not quite as good out there, and I don't want us to lose y'all in the middle of this. Oh, this is the off ramp and on ramp for the eastbound side of I-10 here. There's a big Love's down here. Again, this place is always packed. So I've been there once or twice, and I just never go there anymore because it's always so packed. But, you know, you certainly can go there if you don't mind the crowds. But this is a big intersection. So, okay, this sign's clarifying it for me. I wasn't sure. Dome Rock Road is to the right. That goes out to Dome Rock Mountain, which is out there somewhere. And there's a popular camping area out there, 14-day. And then this is Kewen Street here. And this runs back into Quartzsite. And this is where a lot of the other action happens in Quartzsite on Kewen Street. And this part of it's kind of quiet, but it gets pretty hectic as we get down towards all the vendors and stuff. The Tyson Wells is what they call it, I think. Is that right, Melanie?
Yeah.
She's saying yes. You do see a fair bit of cyclists and OHVs and cyclists with trailers and electric bikes and motorized bikes and all other manner of transportation around Quartzsite during the winter here, as well as people on foot and stuff. We'll be coming back into the excitement here in a minute, but this will give you an idea. Basically, the basic way to navigate around Quartzsite with all the highlights anyways. And appreciate everybody's joined on today. Happy New Year to everyone. For those of you who are watching, appreciate it. And Happy New Year to everyone who watches after the fact. We appreciate you all as well. All right, more vendor type stuff here. Like I said, a lot of a flea market type vibe around here. Carnival type atmosphere, I sometimes call it. This is the DG Showgrounds. I've never been here, but there's all kinds of vendors and tents. But I've never been up to this one. I'm not much of a shopper, so, you know, there we go. More rocks and minerals and such things, whatever you call them all. So, oh, pedestrian bridge over Interstate 10. Never been across that either, but it might be entertaining sometime. What do you think? We take the pedestrian bridge across I-10?
Yeah.
She says yes. Maybe we'll do that sometime. We won't do it on the live drive, though, because the traffic noise is horrific from I-10 sometimes. So you can sometimes hear it from quite a distance away. So more stuff, more like vendor type stuff coming up here. RV storage, RV park. I don't know. There's all kinds of things going on around here. Sometimes it's hard to sort out what's what, I think. But we're coming back into the excitement here. So again, thank you to everybody who's logging on to watch, whether in real time or after the fact, and Happy New Year, everyone. We've been wanting to do this, and I told Melanie that we got to get this done before any more people get to Quartzsite, because as more people to come, the worse the internet gets. So I want to do this while we still have a chance of actually making it happen. So we're going through a wash here. This is, I believe, Tyson Wash. The road goes through a wash. It's a big, big, big wash. And as we go through this, if we look to the right, which is going to be the south, as we go past this wash, fun little factoid not a lot of people I think know about. This massive wash, this floods sometimes. The original Quartzsite town site was down there somewhere, a mile or two or something like that. It flooded so bad that it wiped the town out some years ago. And apparently there's still a safe full of gold or something buried out there somewhere in the wash, is the rumor. But they rebuilt the town a little further to the north. And again, that's Tyson Wash. So here we come into what's known as Tyson Wells RV Park and Market Center. So you see the excitement packing up, big parking area there. People park out. You drive to that wash, there's more parking too. And so this is just kind of, again, very much a flea market or carnival type atmosphere. You can park all along Kewen Street here. The vendors go back several rows deep, so it's not just what you see here. There's storage there and then signs for more vendors. Out in the back here, there's a, what did you call it? I call it dented food can stores. I don't know.
Called this grocery store and drug
Grocery store and drug store
I think it's a
items.
discounted item.
There you go. So discounted item place. You know, it's all scratch and dent and dusty and out of date or whatever else.
No,
But
it's not all out of date.
no, not all of it. I mean, it's all something. It's like most of it's like dusty or dented or whatever. But I
Be
mean,
careful
you
when
can
you're
get some good
looking at
deals.
it. Yeah, you can get some really good deals.
My experience, Melanie says it's better than Walmart. My experience, I think on average, it's about Walmart prices. Sometimes it's a little more than Walmart, sometimes a little less. In my experience, I've only been there twice, ever. Both times that Melanie brought me this year. So I'm not like an expert, but what I was seeing and comparing the prices I'm seeing at Walmart these days, it was about in line. However, if you shop anywhere else in Quartzsite, you're going to pay a lot more than that. So for me to be able to get food in cosmetics and toiletries type stuff for Walmart type prices in Quartzsite is a really good deal. So I definitely do it. Over here we have K&B Tools. I think there's another one too. But this is they got a lot of RV type stuff and tools and RV type supplies, and very popular place. I go there every year. That's one vendor I hit every year because I always need something. And if you need them, they've actually do carry roof vent covers for your RV or trailer. I have a cover on the van that came from there and one that came from Amazon. And on the trailer, we have a cover that came from Amazon and one that came from, no, we have one in the back of the van that's going on the trailer that came from K&B. So I bought two there. Here's a fun little rig, I guess. You want me to buy it for you, Melanie?
There you go.
Looks like you get in trouble with that. So, all right, we're going over Central. And again, this is 95. I mean, it's Interstate 10 right there. And we're on 95. The LTVAs are all down there to the right. We'll show you in a minute. This is the old Rice Ranch, guys. You've probably seen this. I've been here many times. Deborah Dickinson has held meetups here. Well-known place in Quartzsite is no longer Rice Ranch. It sold apparently over the winter. It was still Rice Ranch in February. I stayed here in January for a few nights during RTR to be closer to the event because I was working up there. Had to be there every day for a bit. This is the new place. So it sold sometime after February 1st when I left, and they're putting in palm trees. This whole rock wall is not even recognizable. It's kind of cool to see though. I mean, I knew Sean and Ann personally, the managers there before, and always had a good relationship with them, and did stay there many times, like I said. But I also always did think the place was underutilized, and it could be a lot bigger and nicer and fancier and probably more profitable than it was. So it's interesting to see somebody doing something with it because it's really prime real estate on that corner right across from all the vendors. This is Rice Ranch North. I don't know what the deal is with this, but there's only a handful of rigs out there. So I'm not really knowing what the deal is with Rice Ranch North, so that's been sold too. My understanding is the property was being sold off in several different chunks. So Rice Ranch, the main thing there, is gone now. There's nowhere near as many vendors along this end of Kewen as there used to be. Used to be tons of vendors along here, and I guess because of the property selling and everything, they've been moved. Randy's Hamburgers used to be across the street from Rice Ranch. I ate there several times a year, and I don't know where it is anymore. Apparently it's over on the other side by Tyson Wells, but I've not found Randy yet. He makes a good burger though. And Maia's used to be on the corner there in front of Rice Ranch, and she's gone now as well. I don't know if she's still coming over. I believe she's from Blythe, but I don't know if she's here with her family again this year or not. Again, knew them personally, so kind of sad to see them gone. We're coming down, again, this is Kewen Street. We just went past Rice Ranch. Exit 19 is, you probably can't see it. There's a Chevron sign up there. Exit 19 is right up here in front of us on the left. But I think we'll go up and show you Scadden Wash before we turn around. That's where the RTR, the Rubber Tramp Rendezvous, used to be for many years. It started out at Dome Rock, which is out west of that Love's gas station I showed you. And they started out there, then for the whole time, the time I was involved with it and going, it was up here in Scadden Wash on the east side of Quartzsite, and then now it's at the town park because it just got to the point it was too big for being out there. That 10,000 people camped in one place on public land. So this is South Wriggles Ave. This will take you up to exit 19 of Interstate 10. All right, so we're just going to go this way, just a short distance, and that'll get us to Scadden Wash, which I'll show you guys. That's a very popular camping area around here. So, let's see. So Liz is asking, are the vendors there just for the upcoming event, or is this a normal all the time setup? And Tim Michaels would like to know the same. Yeah, some of these stores are here year round, but the majority of these vendors, especially the ones in tents and stuff, they start setting up, I think maybe in November, definitely in December. January's the big time, the big peak. And then, by the 1st of February, start slowing down. So they're here for probably at least a month, maybe a few months, depending. And Quartzsite has a special program for, vendor licensing and all that. It's a pretty big deal around here. But yeah, as far as the ones I've talked to, yeah, they come in like in the fall, in November or December, and then they're gone sometime after. The big tent, as they call it, the RV and gem show and trade show thing that's held on Tyson Wells 2 behind all the vendors on the south side is a massive tent collection, these giant like circus tents, all kinds of vendors in there, and that runs for like a week, I think, or 10 days, starting about usually around the third week of January. And so after that's over, at the end of January, things start dropping off and quieting down to Quartzsite. So the vendors may hang around into February sometime, but usually it's usually kind of a short season as far as all that goes. So we're almost to Tyson, to Scadden Wash here. This is all BLM land out here, Bureau of Land Management land. I think we're on Scadden Wash now. Some of this may be closed actually for camping right now. Where we went by before was actually the back of one of the LTVAs, or long-term visitor areas. But that is Interstate 10. This road kind of parallels Interstate 10. It gets really bad up here, so we're not going to go down too far. But we do want to show you a little bit where Scadden Wash starts. And then the road, it used to be paved, and it's like only partially paved anymore. It's just deplorable. So, end of Arizona Department of Transportation and Maintenance. And it's a 14-day camping limit here. This is the Scadden Wash 14-day area. I did not see a campground host this year. There's normally a campground host, or campsite host, whatever you call them, right there on this corner, and there's nobody there this year. So I guess they're self-registering. But it starts here anyways, and it goes up towards those mountains, and you drive a mile or so on this awful road, and then the road turns to the right and goes up and kind of follows this side of those mountains you see in the distance, and it goes up, kind of up the hill up there for a few miles. And that's where the Rubber Tramp Rendezvous, the RTR, was held for several years. This is honestly nowhere near as busy as I would expect it to be. This year, Scadden Wash, it is usually, in my experience, a lot busier by this time of year. The LTVAs, the long-term visitor areas, are definitely more busy this year than I've seen in the past. So that's kind of interesting. So, all right. Let's see. Cynthia's saying, I've never been involved in RTR. What happens there? Is this Bob Wells Worship Service? Just asking. What RTR is, started off as 13 or 14 years ago. It's just a group of get together for nomads, and I think they had about 30 people the first year, and it's just grown every year. And basically, it was a chance for people, nomads and snowbirds and stuff, to camp together. They'd have seminars and stuff on skills and things of interest to nomads and snowbirds. These days, it's held for a week or so at, like they did the La Paz County Fairgrounds in Parker for 1 year, and then a couple of years. This is the second year now at the town park in Quartzsite. And basically, they have a lot of seminars. And I think the 1 year in Parker, and then again this year, they're having a handful of vendors on site. So it's more of the content these days, I believe, is more directed at people who are new to being a nomad or a snowbird, or who want to be a nomad or a snowbird, and trying to give them skills and information that might be helpful to them. That's seems to be the big thing these days. A lot of people do come by just to check out who's there, see friends they haven't seen in a while, because it kind of serves as a central meeting place type of a thing. But that's the RTR. So, but this is where it used to be, was up here, and they're now at the town park. So, Liz is saying, I'm a crafter that does very well at hot air balloon festivals. Just purchased a cargo trailer to convert to living quarters to do more event. This looks like a possibility. Let's see. Yeah, this is a big place for vendors, Liz. A lot of activity here, and literally hundreds of thousands of people coming in here every winter for sure. Some estimates say more than 1 million, up to 2 million. But if you just Google the Quartzsite City website, they do have you'll find it. It's like a quartzsite.ci. I don't know. I don't remember off the top of my head, but you'll find it. They have all their information on their website on getting approved. I don't think it's terribly expensive, but there's like an application you have to get a temporary vendor license, temporary business license for Quartzsite. And if you are selling it, you do have to get an Arizona sales tax, like permit or whatever they call it. Again, that's not terribly expensive. It's just a little bit of paperwork, and that's pretty much it. And then you find a place where you want to get set up, and there's quite a bit of that as well. But yeah, a lot of people do very well here. Vendors stay very active. I've thought a time or two about doing it, bringing my magazines and books and those maybe some photographs, prints or whatever, that sort of thing. But I've not actually done it. But I have I have thought about it. So that's why I know some of the details. I've looked into it. So. Yeah, campground hosts, I'm not surprised they're having a hard time finding them. My understanding is that they're volunteers and they just get to stay for the thing. Even the LTVA, the long-term visitor area, and there's like 4 of them here in Quartzsite, you have to pay $180. You can stay 7 months, which is great. And they do have dumpsters, and the LTVA South has quote-unquote fresh water. And I wouldn't use it, but they have water there. And they do have RV dumps over there. So that's what you get for it. You can stay from as early as September 15 to as late as April 15. It covers you for 7 months. I'm only usually here for 2 months, 3 months at the most. But anyways, even at the LTVAs, there are people running the office or volunteers. So I'm a little bit surprised, honestly. But we were talking about it the other day, about how odd it is. And I'm like, if you're like in a campground, do you want to stay? And you're working to stay free, that's one thing maybe, but man, it's only $180 for the LTVA, so I'm kind of surprised that, I don't know what people get out of it for volunteering, or how often they have to work or whatever, but yeah, it is a thing, and yeah, I don't know. not sure about that. Okay, Bo Randall is saying, Wiki says approximately 1.4 million visitors in January, February. Pretty amazing. Yeah, I know it's a lot of people, and it definitely peaks. It kind of starts picking up every year after. I mean, there'll be people here in November and more in December, but after Christmas, after the first of the year, it starts picking up, and it just gets really, really busy for a little bit. Then it starts tapering back down. So that number would be within the ranges I've seen around. But pretty, definitely interesting. And as I often describe, it's kind of a carnival-like atmosphere. It's just packed, vendors everywhere, food and all kinds of stuff you can imagine. And if you get into the Big Tent, if you go to there in later this month, it's really carnival-like. You got like carnival barkers practically. People, it's just so noisy. It's like just a cacophony of noise. So another one of the reasons I don't go to the Big Tent really, because it's too noisy for me. So. Going back, another RV park here. We're going back down Q towards Rice Ranch and Tyson Wells. And again, more RV parks here. This one is, I forget the name of this one. Apparently under new management or new ownership or something.
Tumbleweed.
Tumbleweed, Melanie says. This is the Tumbleweed RV park on the right here. And this is, under new management. On the left here, this is all BLM. Bureau of Land Management land, and I believe this is actually the LTVA here, part of the LTVA North. That actually starts south of town, but it runs all the way up then to, after Rice Ranch, it runs all the way up to Kewen Street here and out into Scadden Wash. Then it turns to Scadden Wash. So still BLM, but not the LTVA anymore. The Rice Ranch North again here. That's pretty well empty. There's a few rigs out there, so I'm not sure what the deal is here, if this one's been sold or what's happening with this one. Lots of RVs here, lots of vans, lots of cargo trailer conversions, lots of everything you can imagine. I am seeing more people in cars and small SUVs and stuff, and more people in tents than I've personally ever seen in Quartzsite. And again, I've been coming here 7 or 8 years. That's a fair bit of experience, I suppose, but obviously people have been camping in Quartzsite a lot longer than that, so I'm not saying it's any kind of universal absolute thing, just different than what I'm accustomed to seeing. So we got barbecue, turkey legs, rug sale, all kinds of stuff going on over here. And again, Tyson Wells, all that excitement in front of us. So I guess we'll go through Tyson Wells again, then we'll probably hook over the interstate and come back and show you the rest of Main Street that we haven't got, because there's a couple cool things up there on Main Street as well. So let's see. David's saying thanks for the tour. You're welcome, Dave. We thought this might be fun to do this. I know there's a bunch of tour videos, conventional or traditional tour videos on YouTube where people kind of like edit stuff ahead of time. So we thought it'd be fun to drive around and show you in real time what's happening. Then we can also interact with people as there are questions or comments and everything about what we're seeing. So there's an RV lithium batteries over here, and some of these vendors are closed. Some of them are like closed certain days. It's not like the full peak season yet, although it's rapidly getting there. These ones are open. They just have their curtains pulled back. But you'll see, there's all kinds of statues over here at this place. Let's see, Madagascar import scene, minerals and fossils from Madagascar. And again, these go back several late rows deep. There's all kinds of stuff back there we can't see from the road. We got to get out and walk it. And so let's see, kitchen supply. And yeah, we're not opposed to getting out walking, but then you get a lot of things about music going on, and that gets into copyright issues with YouTube. So we're doing it from within the vehicle to control that as much as we can. Here we go, knives, moccasins, sterling silver jewelry. So yeah, there's all kinds of stuff that you'd expect to find at a carnival or a fair, and a circus, anything like that. So it's fun. I mean, there you go. We got buckets and ammo cans, and you know, looks like some bicycles, maybe ATV tires. There's some yard art for you if you got room in your RV to tow it around. RV show sign here. This is back out here. You know, park out, drive to the wash and park back there, and there's a bunch of RVs out there. A whole bunch of RVs on display. Fancy ones. We were talking the other day about going out there, and because they're all open, so you can check them out. So we were saying the other day, maybe we should walk through some of them and see what's on offer for these six-figure RVs these days. That could, maybe we'll get around to doing that yet. Could be interesting. Because honestly, I mean, we have a 96 Dutchman Aerolite 21-foot travel trailer. The camper van is not much of a camper right now. We used to get some remodeling done. But yeah, I honestly haven't been in any of these brand new fancy ones in a while. So be curious to see what they're looking like these days. Liz is asking, do we see many kids during the busy times? What about you, Melanie? You see many kids during the busy times?
No. Sometimes there'll be families or stuff, but not too many.
All right, Melanie's saying no. Sometimes she sees families, but not often.
Yeah.
My experience, I say occasionally, but not a lot. You occasionally find a family with youngsters. They're even traveling on vacation, or they might be like homeschooling and traveling and stuff. But I don't see a lot of it. Quartzsite is fairly family friendly, though. I do want to say that it's not like a crazy place or anything. It's pretty tame. Some of the ATVs can get a little obnoxious at times, but that's not even as bad on the LTVAs. It's a little more moderated, I guess. But it's not really a wild place, even though I say carnival-like atmosphere, but it's kind of like a family-friendly place. I don't really, you know. Yeah, so you do see some. I would not. I mean, I tell my granddaughters all the time I got to bring them down here sometime, and they can check out rocks, because this is a rock hounding paradise down here with all the rocks in the desert and stuff. We're still trying to learn to identify more of them better, but you know. Okay, so we're on end of Cuban Street here. We're back at the interstate access for exit 17 for I-10. Dome Rock Road in front of us, and that just goes, if you take that just goes down to the Dome Rock camping area, which is down there. That's again 14-day free camping. Then you got to move all the 14-day around here. You have to move 25 miles after your 14 days, and I think you have to be gone 14 days, or you can only say 14 days out of a month or something to that effect. Anyways, obviously the driving can get deplorable down here. Mr. RIV Trek from Arizona, special driving. So go take your Chevy back somewhere else, you know, your GMC. Must not like it too much. You can't get a new truck these days. You should be more careful. All right. Anyways, we're back. This is Quartzsite Boulevard, they call it. This little spur that goes over the interstate. And we're back to Main Street and Quartzsite, which we'll cruise. Because there's a few things on the other end we didn't get to show you yet. Because we turned up Plymouth to show you where that RTR event is going to be. So going back into Quartzsite here, and we'll show you a few more cool things on this street. And we do appreciate everybody joining us. There's a Quartzsite sign. They have one of these on each of the 4 ways into town. Appreciate everybody joining or watching after the fact. And Happy New Year to everybody that is watching now or later. Okay, so back into all the excitement here. Quartzsite flags here. If you want some, another vendor. So honestly, there's just about anything you want to find here. You can find here in some manner or another. You might have to hunt a little bit for it, because sometimes it's a little hit and miss what you find at vendors. Lots of travelers of different sorts here, not just in vans. Again, going by the pilot here. This place is always packed. Reckless driver in the GMC just pulled in there, didn't get anywhere, cutting us off like that. That's interesting looking. That's a double decker, isn't it? There's an RV conversion project for you right there, boy. Yeah, 2-story RV. I can't imagine the maintenance or the gas mileage, fuel efficiency, but you know. The Quartzsite Yacht Club. Apparently, as far as I'm aware, this is like the only yacht club that's actually not anywhere near yachts, because you know there's like no water in Quartzsite basically, other than the washes. Right? What are you saying?
I was in the movie, right?
It was in the movie. I forgot. That was in the Nomadland movie. So if you've seen Nomadland, that scene where they're at the yacht club, at the dance and stuff, that's where that was held. But yeah, they're you get over the Colorado River, over past Ehrenberg. That's about 18 miles, 18 miles to the west. You got the river, but there's not really any water in Quartzsite that I'm aware of. Like I said, other than the washes when they flood. So, got a yacht club though. So, apparently this is the old post office here. I don't know if that's official or if somebody just put a U.S. Post Office sign on it for nostalgia, but it does say U.S. Post Office, and that building's been closed for as long as I've been coming around here. Another RV park, lots of them around here. I did read there are more than 70, as in 70. Oh, Salvation Army thrift store out there, Melanie.
Yeah.
She's going to want to go check that out. Yeah. And this is our Solar Bill here, another one of the big RV our solar outfits here in Quartzsite. I don't have any direct experience with any of them. I do my own solar work, but if you need RV stuff, Quartzsite, if you need RV stuff, or if you need like solar stuff, Quartzsite's a place to find those things for sure. There's those flags I was talking about, or kites I was talking about earlier. There's a vendor up here that has, I don't know, flags or kites or whatever they got, so that's kind of a promotional thing there. Again, just lots and lots of RV parks. Oh, we're coming up on Silly Al's. I got to show you this on the way by. I have not eaten here in a couple of years, but it is a very popular Quartzsite pizza joint. And even people who've never been to Quartzsite know about Silly Al's. So it's just here on the right-hand side. One of the reasons I haven't been here recently is it's so busy all the time. So Silly Al's, I used to go, but family-owned and operated restaurant lounge since 1987. Well, Melanie's brave. She's turning down in here. Look at this traffic. So, yeah, you might be able to get turned around down on the end. But this place is always just busy, and that's fine. They're doing a good business. But if I once in a while when I do stop, it's because I drive by and it's not very crowded. And I'm like, oh, heck, I'll stop. But
thrift store.
Yeah.
Quartzsite Community Thrift Store.
Yeah. I haven't been there since they yelled at me for trying to park down here somewhere for a minute.
Oh, did they?
Yeah. They probably have a lot of problems with parking in the winter, I guess. But well, I'm just waiting for somebody for a few minutes. I'm not like parking and leaving my vehicle. I was standing, I guess you could say, because I was in the vehicle. But this is Silly Al's, very popular pizza place. They have or they used to at least have karaoke here. I do not do karaoke. Yeah. I can't sing too well, and I don't do karaoke, but especially in public. But it's a popular place, and as you can see, and it's like, what time is it? 1:45. So it's not like noon, and it's not like 5 for supper. So anyway, fun place. You might want to check it out if you're in Quartzsite. Decent food. More vendors across the street here on the other side of Main Street, and we're going to turn right and head further east along to heading towards exit 19. Yes, this is the real post office these days, just kind of across the street here from Silly Al's. We'll be going by it in a minute. Honestly, I try to avoid it because this place is packed all the time. There's this little tan brick building back down here. Once in a while, if I have stuff already stamped or pre-printed labeled, I'll drop it off there. But that place is packed all the time, line out into the lobby, waiting, so, yep. Some RVs here for sale. There'll be a lot more RVs coming in the coming week or so. By the time the show kicks off, the big tent show kicks off in about the third week of January, there'll be many RVs here on display. I would assume there usually are. Things are weird with the RV industry, so maybe it'll be different, but you know. And again, more RVs or trailers, at least on that side of the intersection. So we're crossing over Central here, which again is Highway 95 that runs between Yuma through Quartzsite up to Parker, and I guess then on up to Lake Havasu City. So let's see, I know I'm missing a few comments here. Tim saying I'm at the 88 Shades RV Park. You're coming up on your right. Well, cool, Tim. We just went by. We would have waved if I saw that comment a little earlier. Oh yeah, so Liz is saying the post office closed. I think that's an old one. As long as I've been coming here, it's like those buildings have all been like abandoned, but it says post office. I'm not sure if it's like really the old post office or if just somebody put that sign on there. I would assume it's the old post office, and this one's the newer one, but this one doesn't look new, so it's probably been there a while. But yeah, it's just, Quartzsite's a small town, small post office, and there's so many people here that it's just really packed and crazy in there. So, and let's see, Cheryl saying I haven't been there for 20 years. What a change. That is interesting, Cheryl, to see your perspective, because I've only been coming here for like 7 or 8 winters, and even the first, this is the third winter I've stayed on an LTVA, so I kind of been around for a month or two. I've not even been here a whole winter, ever. But in the past, I would say other places that maybe come to Quartzsite for a few days or a week or two. So I really have, but my whole experience is limited to like 7 or 8 years. Oh, here we got to pull in here. So we're going to go by Reader's Oasis bookstore. I'm not sure who's running this these days. The gentleman that used to run it, by the name of Paul. You go up a little further to, yeah.
Where are we going?
Next one.
Okay.
Up there. Up there. Anyways, Paul was famous for being the nude bookstore seller. He was the nudist. Also a very talented piano player. And met Paul one year, and he used to live and travel in a van back in the 70s, I think it was, played piano and did concerts all over the country. So he eventually settled down here in Quartzsite and had his show, or his bookstore rather. So Reader's Oasis Books. Paul did pass away a couple, 2 or 3 years ago, I think. So I'm not sure who's running that thing now. But here in front of us, we got to show you this. This is cool. We were showing you the Camel. Hi, Jolly, telling you about the camels in Quartzsite. Well, you can actually get a camel ride when you're in Quartzsite. Apparently, you got a climbing wall now too. That's a new feature. So if you want to do a climb, you can climb for a $100 prize. So there you go. I'm not sure if I trust myself trying to climb that thing, but if you're into climbing, there you go. You can win $100, baby. And but they got camel rides here. Is this the coolest thing? And so we've not done them yet, but they got a few over there by the stock trailer, like a horse trailer. So, oh, and you get a souvenir photo on your ride for only $10. Camel rides are $15 per person, all ages. So, Melanie, you want a camel ride?
Well, yeah.
We might do that sometime, but not today. So. But there's the camels. I see a couple more over there by the trailer, just tethered out. So, and there's 2 in there on duty right now. Looks like they got some kind of like frames on them that you get to hold on to, so hopefully you don't fall off.
Yes,
so.
they do that on elephants.
And an old neon sign for Camel smokes. That's kind of funny. Well, I've never ridden a camel or an elephant so far as I can remember. I might just be forgetting, but as far as I can remember.
I've ridden an elephant.
Did you? Was it fun?
Yeah. Well, your legs go way out because it's, but yeah. I have some black.
I would imagine. A good fat quarter horse will do that to you. So I can't even imagine an elephant.
Broad.
Yeah, there you go. Now you all know about elephants too. Liz is saying, I just want to say thank you for the video and for answering questions. Please give a thumbs up, as I'm sure you learned something or at least entertained. Yes, please give a thumbs up if you haven't yet. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you're not already. Our focus is on landscape and wilderness photography, but we also do some travel related stuff, more generic travel related stuff, like showing people around Quartzsite or Pahrump or Sturgis, South Dakota during the bike rally or whatever like that. Basically whatever's going on around where we're traveling. Sometimes we have like RV DIY type stuff, like how to fix a broken window, or we do a little bit of remodeling projects we're working on now. Melanie keeps whipping out the camera. I'll be working on a project trying to fix something up, turn around, and she's standing there filming me. I'm like, oh man, I'm making a mess again. I don't know what I'm doing. But so anyway, all kinds of stuff. So yeah, please do give a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. We hope this was entertaining. Just kind of showing around. Thought it might be interesting to see around here. This is Wriggles Road. Again, if you go to the right, you kind of get up there to Scadden Wash and Kewen Street. Go to the left, you don't get to much. This is a busy gas station here. This is exit 19. You see all the traffic coming and going there. For Interstate 10, again, to go to Phoenix or Los Angeles or points in between there. Chevron station here, always busy. Down here is an Arco station. I should not tell you this, but the Arco station is a little less busy and usually has cheaper gas. So does that tell you where I go? I go to the Arco station. So look at this place. It is always packed during the winter. If you're here in like December, no, not too bad. Here in February, might not be as bad, but during January, late December, January, early February, it's pretty packed. Here's a good place to get water. Highway patrol hanging over there in the corner, keeping an eye on things, I guess. But you get to the desert here, from Pahrump or down here in Quartzsite or Phoenix, you get these kiosks, water kiosks all over the place. Pahrump's even going to get ice at, bulk ice, which is cool. But the general going rate, you'll pay more at like a grocery store or something, but the general going rate on these things, and every town has several, is 25 cents a gallon for filtered water, or 20 cents per gallon if you get buy a larger quantity. So like you get 5 gallons for $1. So that's where I get my water, is this kiosk right here most of the time. Even with a trailer, I'll just pull the trailer up next to it and fill it up. That's got a 25 gallon tank. So
it has a hose, so.
It's got a hose. So not all of them have hoses. Some of them you have to, like, you know, stick your jug under there. But this one has a hose that's, I don't know, 6 or 8 feet long or something. So I can, as long as I pull up close, I can fill the trailer up right out of it. So I guess that way. So we'll go back over here, and before we wrap up, we'll go over here, over the interstate again, and show you this end on exit 19. And if you've ever been to Quartzsite, exit 17 is busier. Exit 19 is a little bit calmer, which is not to say it's always calm or quiet. There's a lot of traffic over here too, but it can be a little bit easier with traffic-wise. Then, of course, if you want to go to Parker or Yuma or anything like that, you have to go get on 95 there in the middle, in between the exits. So again, down here is the Arco gas station, and this is Main Street in front of us, and we're going right over on Wriggles Road here, right over I-10. See the Phoenix and LA signs. And this will be exit 19 if you're on I-10 looking to get off in Quartzsite. You might be able to see over there the queue on the mountain for Quartzsite. And this is the eastbound on and off ramp here on this side. And another big RV park out here, kind of a combination RV and mobile home park, I guess, but long-term type place. So Arthur saying it has been several decades since I was there also. Bo says, great tour, thanks for doing it. You have a lovely designated driver, safe travels. Well, thank you, Bo. Yeah, she does a great job, and she does put safety first, even at the expense of ignoring me when I'm trying to bug her or something. So, Cheryl's, thank you so much. Really enjoyed the video. Paula's, hi, Robert, good and chat. Hope everyone's doing good. Yeah, so thank you, everyone, again. We're going to just turn down Kewen, and we'll shut it down when we get back towards Tyson Wells. We don't make this too terribly long, but we did want to have a chance to just show everybody around. Thought it might be fun for you to see it actually driving around, not just showing you clips from different places, but actually seeing it driving around. And no, I don't know if this is any better, or there's some purple prickly pear cactus, or are they fake? I think they're real.
I think they're real.
Interesting.
Yeah, I've seen them before. Yeah.
Interesting. Very interesting. So lots of cacti all over the place here too. And but yeah, anyway, I don't know if it's better or worse or different, but it's different anyway, doing it this way. Little dog running loose here. So we just wanted to show you around, and I thought you might find it interesting to see it in real time and see it actually as you drive between places, and it give you a better sense of the scale, I guess, and the distance between these places and how they kind of relate to each other. Because that was my thing. If we just drove around in some clips and edited them together, they're kind of random and they're not really. We did that in Pahrump. which is a much more spread out town. So it would have been a little harder to do the live drive in. We may still do it in the spring. We go through there in the spring. But we didn't do one this year, did we? Or did we? Did we do one? I don't remember if we did one or not. But anyways, we couldn't show you everything because it was spread out too much if we did, so. But we're going down Cuin again. We're about to come up on Rice Ranch and then Tyson Wells on the other side of Central or Highway 95. Actually, Melanie, if you want to turn when we get over here, if you just want to turn left at the light, and we'll head down towards the LTVAs, then we'll sign off after we've shown where the LTVAs are in relation to the town. There are free 14-day camping areas to the west of town. You got Dome Rock out there. Behind us is Scadden Wash to the east. Going to the north on 95, you get High Jolly and Plamosa. And going left here and going to the south, you get the Roadrunner. So those are all free camping areas right around Quartzsite. You do have to get a permit from the campground host or self-register if the campground host is not there because they don't have one. And the rangers do check on that stuff, so you don't want to get in trouble with that. It's a free permit. You just got to fill out the paperwork like any campground you stay at. Sharon says, love the tour and info. Thanks. Liz, I'm from Pahrump, Nevada. Yes, very spread out. Yeah, Liz, every time I'm there, I am amazed if you get up on a hill above town or anything, at just how much that town spreads. And it's kind of like, those of you who haven't been there, you got the Spring Mountains on the east, and which between there and Vegas, and you got like Red Rock to the south, and you got some other mountains to the west. And so Pahrump is in this valley that's multiple miles wide, but it's in a valley, and it just goes for miles north to south. Really spread because they don't go up the mountains. So interesting anyways. Now there's an old U-Haul. There's a RV conversion for you. All right, RV show signs here. These are the RVs we might go check out and film. Leave us a comment if you want to see a tour of some of these. We'll go check some of them out. I'm not seeing prices in the windows. What's going on with that, man? Jeez, usually they have six-figure prices in the windows. We might go check them out. Let us know if you'd like to see that. The LTVA is right down here. There's actually 4 of them here. In Quartzsite, there's also some down by Yuma, one over by Blythe. I've never been to that one. These are the only ones I've stayed at here in Quartzsite. So just go ahead and go past these 2, I guess. So there's right here on the top, the first ones. These literally border the Quartzsite town where we just left Quartzsite. And this is all LTV out here. This is west, I think. Over here, LTVA west, I think. Yeah, this is La Posa west. This is La Posa north on this side. And then there's 2 more down here. There's Tyson Wash, I think, and south. And the south is the one, they're both on this road, just a few miles. We may lose signal before we get there, or we may get weak before we get there. South is the one they all have dumpsters. South is the one with the water that they call fresh water. And it's also where they have the dump stations if you need those services. So Liz is saying amazing sunrise and sunsets. Man, I love the sunrises and sunsets at Pahrump and Quartzsite both. Highlight for me, literally for me, the highlight of coming down here. And Matthew's watching from Plamosa Road, says it's raining up there.
Oh, no.
Well, no wonder I'm having a hard time getting a good exposure here I'm using the YouTube app, so I don't have too much exposure control, but this is all here. This road goes all the way to Yuma. It's BLM mostly all the way down. There is a large national wildlife area, COFA National Wildlife Area. Different rules for camping and stuff there, so make sure you check those out if you want to camp down there. There is a border checkpoint down here. You got a cell tower down there, Verizon tower, 5 bars of cell signal, and you have no data. So I don't know what's up with that, but for some strange reason, you have 5 bars of cell coverage and no data next to the border checkpoint. I'll let you draw your own inferences. All right, we're heading south out of Quartzsite. We're going to go ahead and end this. We're coming up on the other ones, south and the other one, Tyson. So I think we're almost there. And as soon as we show you those that, we're going to log off. But we'll just let you see if you are interested in the LTVAs here, a lot about them. So there's, again, we're coming up on the LTVAs on both sides here. So this is Tyson on this side and south on the other side. Pretty mountains in the background. This is down, those mountains are down by Kofa. They have desert bighorn sheep down there. I believe it is. Is it bighorn sheep? Is that right?
Big-
Desert bighorn sheep. Interesting story behind that. Maybe we'll tell you about that in another video. But really cool, rugged mountains. So, okay, we got La Posa, Tyson Wash on the right here, La Posa South on the left. So, a lot of people staying in all these places. $180 for 7 months from September 15 to April 15. You will never find me here on September 15 or on April 15, but you could stay for 7 months if you were brave enough. So this is La Posa South. They all have these little kiosk stations. They are manned by volunteers. And yeah, you just go straight here. Just keep going straight and it'll bring you down to the dumpsters and the freshwater, sort of freshwater, and the dump stations. There's a Blue Boy dump and a regular RV dump. So we're going to go ahead and log off here, guys. I really appreciate, we appreciate everyone who has logged on and joined us. Here's the LTVA permit fee sign that we just went by. I didn't tell my driver to slow down in time. So there's the sign for facilities. But anyway, this is La Posa. They do have vault toilets too at all of the LTVAs, I believe, or at least the ones up here they do. And if you are, I should note, if you're not in a self-contained rig with at least a 10-gallon holding tank, you are obligated to stay within 500 feet of one of the vault toilets. I believe it's 500 feet, but again, you can check with them if you want to know that. Just know you have to stay near a vault toilet if you're not in a rig with at least a 10-gallon holding tank. All right, we're going to go ahead and log off. Again, this is LTVA South. We've been looking around Quartzsite, Arizona, showing you the excitement here. Thank you for joining, everybody. Happy New Year. We will catch you soon with more exciting videos coming. Lots of scenery around the Sonoran Desert and whatnot. And thanks for joining. We'll catch you in the next one, everybody.